All right, so let's talk about the Rockets at number 2, deciding to go with Jalen Green over Evan Mobley. Before I dive into this whole thing, I think Jalen Green's going to be very good. He could be the best scorer out of this draft, 3-level scorer who can do a whole bunch of stuff around the rim, acrobatic finishes, dunking on guys, shows potential as a pull-up shooter from 3 and from mid-range, and he's got a whole lot of moves already off the dribble, great burst off the dribble. I think he will be very good. And he could be more exciting than Evan Mobley, especially early on. But when I look at all the big boards from the people who are really in on this stuff day in and day out, the consensus seemed to be that Evan Mobley is better. And people talk about Mobley as a guy who can be a defensive player of the year candidate, someone who can do kind of anything on defense. He's probably got to gain some weight so he can really trade blows with guys in the post and stuff. But besides that, the ability to switch onto guys onto the perimeter, bring help, protect the rim, all that stuff, people have nothing but overwhelmingly positive things to say about Mobley. And when I think about the requirements to win a championship, which that's the ultimate goal, especially in the Western Conference, you're looking at being able to defend Jokic, Anthony Davis, switching onto some of these wings like, PG, Kawhi, Luka, that sort of thing. And of course, no one can shut those types of dudes down, and the Rockets are many, many years away from winning, regardless of whether it's Mobley or Jalen Green as the draft pick. But still, as I dove into as many draft analysts, big boards, and all that I could over the last week or so, it was almost unanimous that Mobley is better. So, who's wrong here? To be fair, they weren't super critical of Jalen Green, but hell, some people even suggested Mobley could be better than Cade, so for what all that's worth, did the Rockets not like the potential of Mobley and Christian Wood? If Mobley is really as good as everybody who does the draft for a living tells me he is Christian Wood really the reason you wouldn't pick him? I haven't even gotten to Mobley's offense yet, where they say that, sure, he's not going to be as good as Jalen Green day one, but he could develop into a big guy who can do kind of everything, where he can roll, he can pop out to 3, and he can make passes for guys, and he can also go off the dribble, whether it's beating his guy if he gives him some space, whether it's, you set a screen and then the floor is open a little bit, he can take some dribbles either to the rim or then make the play for a corner shooter or somebody cutting, all that stuff. So there's just a world in which Mobley is a defensive player of the year candidate season after season, and he also can get to, at least high teens, low 20s in points, and give you 5 assists a game or something. Like, he could just be like an amazing all-around guy. But still, Jalen Green should be very good. It will be a bit more difficult now for Houston to have a roadmap to being a really good defensive team, but if you get buy-in from everybody, then perhaps he could still be all right. And of course, in the NBA, offense is more important than defense. To think about just Houston, Jalen Green, all that nice stuff. Are we sure that John Wall is not going to be a little bit of a ball hog and tell Jalen Green to go stand in the corner? Now, I know John Wall is a big assist guy, but he's kind of like I'm going to hold the ball the whole possession, and then if somebody gets open, I'll pass it to you sort of assist guy, which to me does not sound the best for developing Jalen Green. On top of that, John Wall likes to shoot. The guy's probably going to chuck up like 16, 17 shots a game or whatever. Now, if they can find a trade for Wall, if they would want to, I don't know. Eric Gordon, if he's healthy, he's probably going to chuck up a good amount of shots. Is that good for Jalen Green? Not really sure. I think the potential of Jalen Green with Christian Wood is really good, because Wood, of course, you set screens, he can roll, he can pop, Jalen Green can make a play off of that. Again, there's still some questions about Green's passing right now, but you'd think Christian Wood can make his job a bit easier. And I do like the Kevin Porter Jr. with Jalen Green thing. There could be some trouble of them really playing off of each other because they're both perimeter guys, but I think it's an intriguing duo who can both handle and make plays for other dudes. Kevin Porter Jr. probably a little farther along of a passer right now, so we'll see with all that. Jalen Green can be an awesome scorer and multi-time all-star and all that. The comparison I've seen with him is Zach LaVine, which I guess works between the explosive athleticism, the scoring ability from pretty much everywhere on the floor, and Still some questions about the passing and the defense. So this is really not even anything against Jalen Green. It's more so like I just saw so many overwhelmingly positive things about Evan Mobley. I just can't help but think, are we going to look back in a few years and be like, why did he fall to number 3?